I just got some bad news here, okay? Sophie is dead. Okay?
18-year-old Jennifer Medzie sits across from detectives, sobbing as she begins to realize she may have taken the life of 2-year-old Sophia Hoffman-Lauder, the child she was meant to protect, but left with devastating injuries. Yet as her story changes and the detectives probe deeper, the complexities of the case become increasingly clear.
She just wouldn't quit crying and just went like that just once, and I felt horrible.
The way I look at it, he's to blame for this, okay? I do. He pushed you into this.
The question that still haunts this case is how 2-year-old Sophia Hoffman-Lauder lost her life. Was it a tragic accident, or did someone she trusted, her father or caregiver, have something to do with it?
So you didn't know, maybe until now, that baby can cause brain damage. Did you know that before this?
No.
Cleveland County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
We need an ambulance right away.
What's the address?
Lauder Lane. Lauder. Lauder.
Okay, what's your name?
My name's Cassandra Evans.
What's the number you're calling from? Okay.
Could you please hurry? 2-year-old child is unresponsive. Please hurry.
On November 15, 2013, in Bradford Township, Pennsylvania, 18-year-old Jennifer Medzie was caring for 2-year-old Sophia Hoffman-Lauder while the baby's father, 21-year-old Cody Lauder, was at work. That morning, Sophia suddenly went limp and was rushed to the hospital, where she later died. Weeks later, medical experts determined she had suffered violent shaking and blunt force trauma. As investigators dug deeper, troubling messages and conflicting stories surfaced. Now, Medzie, the prime suspect, faces a tense and twisted interrogation.
Are you a cleaner? Or are you
Well, I wasn't until I moved there, and then I started.
cleaning? Okay.
Like, cleaning the floors. Sweep. Well, I didn't sweep for a long time because he said...
He told you that?
No, he's like, the vacuum's broken. And then he broke his window by slamming the TV into it.
On purpose?
He was
Or-
playing, what was it? WWE or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Some wrestling thing. And he got so mad he just got up and slammed the TV into it.
Okay.
And whenever Pee-wee heard about that, she thought Cody threw me into the window.
Okay, when was that?
A month and a half ago.
But how did she hear that? I mean, how did she hear he threw you into the window?
Well, they're like aggressive and everything. Because Pee-wee said that Brandon grabbed her by the throat.
Oh, okay, so they're aggressive boys, you mean? Because she goes with his brother.
Yeah.
And who's Pee-wee again? I can't.
Cassandra Evans.
Cassandra Evans. Okay, that's right. And she dates Brandon and lives
Yeah.
with Brandon, right? Do they have any kids?
No. Pee-wee
Okay.
don't want no kids.
Doesn't she?
She said, I don't want no kids with Brandon anyway.
Okay. All right. So, okay, you move in the end of September, and you're going. Everything's going okay. You like living with Cody? Is he nice to you?
Yeah, except whenever he would do drugs, then it's like nodding out, not talking. It's like, I'm here, talk to me, do something.
Okay. So, what were some of the drugs he'd do?
He would just take, they were like pain pills or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then make him sweat and nod out.
When did he get? Where did he get these at? Do you know?
His brothers.
His brother Brandon. Okay. Did you do any other type of drugs while you were there?
Did I do any? Or
No. Did he?
Oh, no. It was like, there was one with a V, it was like, or something, and then like,
Okay. You never took one just to see how it feels?
no, I don't want to.
I know people that say, I would never do it, but I tried it. Once I tried, I'd never go back to it.
Cody's like, smoke doesn't even know how to get off it. But that's like probation and parole, which is in 2 years. And I'm like, I don't even know if we're going to make it that long. Because he's like, I'm in and out of girlfriends like every month. It's like, oh.
Has he ever moved anybody in before?
Yeah.
Okay, so You move in, he's doing drugs occasionally, snorting pain pills that he gets from his brother, right?
Yeah, which they get from somewhere else. I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't care about that. And that makes him nod off. Does it make him anything else besides kind of sleepy?
Just sweaty and falls asleep in the sweat. Like, I'll be like laying on his leg and sweat will just drip on me. And I'm like trying to sleep. I'm like, this is gross.
Worthless. And he's worthless when he takes that type of stuff, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. When does he normally take it?
Every Saturday, whenever he goes down to his brother's to work, they cut trees down because they have a wood burner.
Okay.
There's a disarming naivety in Medzie's voice, so warm it could melt a mug of cocoa. It almost defies belief that she stands accused of the death of a 2-year-old child. But as the saying goes, there's no smoke without fire, and what follows in this interrogation is deeply unsettling.
Did he ever do anything that you think was a little bit overboard?
Whenever he smacked us one time and he left his handprint on her, I thought that was a little.
On her, you said
It was like this. It was like big fingers though.
Did she have clothes on or a diaper? Yeah, they still left the handprint through the clothes. How did you know there was a handprint there?
Because she like crapped in her diaper.
Uh-huh.
She had a diaper still on, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And I had to change it because he don't change her at all.
Okay. And did you feel bad when you saw that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, you left a handprint. He's like, well, she has to learn. I'm like, okay, you don't have to smack her that hard.
Okay. Okay, so we're into early November. Okay, how's your relationship with Cody still good? Or are you thinking about, man, I made a mistake? Is that crossing your mind at all? When does that? I know it crossed your mind. When does it cross your mind? Let me ask you that.
The middle of October.
Okay, it didn't take you long, did it,
Not
to
really.
realize it?
Because I went home in like October and I felt bad because I wanted to go back, but then it's like.
Why did you feel bad? Because you wanted to go back?
I just wanted to be there with him.
With Cody. Okay. And be honest with me, okay? I'm going to ask you a direct question here. Would you have missed Soph that much? I mean, honestly. Yeah, you miss her, but, I mean, if it's not your child, I'll be the first to say, I don't know if I could take somebody else's child in. I'm going to be personally honest. I told my husband that if you would have had a child, because my sister did it, I couldn't take another woman's child in. You know what I mean? Just not me, So how was your feelings with that? I mean, that's hard, especially if she's in the picture somewhat. That even makes it worse,
Well, I didn't want Cody bringing in another girl and her getting confused, so it's like,
But
I want to go back.
I mean, would it have bothered you to leave Soph? Soph was safe with him, right? It wouldn't have bothered you to walk away. I know maybe Cody because you love him, but Soph, could you kind of walk away from her? Could know she has a good home.
Well, no, she has a good home, but I didn't really want to walk away from both of them.
Okay. Who do you love more? Be honest.
No.
Who? Cody, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's okay. Be truthful with me. Okay? I don't blame you for that, okay? I don't blame you. Just because it's a child doesn't mean you should love it more. You're 18, so, your devotion, I can understand being devoted to Cody versus a child because, for one thing, you're not a mother yet. And you're 18 and you shouldn't be a mother yet.
He's like, let's have a family, let's have a baby. And I'm like,
yeah, see how that works,
like,
right?
oh.
Right. So that's I just want you to be honest with me because I would be the same way. I wouldn't be able to take that all in. That'd be a lot for me. So, okay. So where are we? We're in November and today's the 18th. So let's go back to, she's developing a head cold. That's what Graham says, or stepmom, because of the black eyes, right? When does she start other symptoms that you think, okay, maybe she is getting sick? Okay, so you tell her to go pee, she starts flipping out, and then he wakes up, and what's he do?
Starts yelling at her, and he turns up the TV because she's crying so much, and he can't hear it.
Okay.
For now, Medzie's voice only points to Cody. But detectives sense her story isn't complete. They begin using the minimization technique, a psychological tactic where interrogators downplay the crime, show empathy, and suggest it was a mistake rather than murder. The goal is simple: to make her feel safe enough to confess. Soon, their calm voices and gentle assurances start breaking down her defenses.
You know what I mean? He pushed you into taking care of this child. You're 18 years old. You have your whole life ahead of you. Why do you have to take care of his stuff? Why do you have to scratch his back at night? You know what I mean? Or rub his back, whatever the hell. Pisses me off just talking about it, you know? So if you lost your cool and you did something that, you didn't mean to do, we need to know that, okay?
Medzie clings to her story that it was all Cody, all his cruelty towards Sophie. But the injuries tell a different story. Sophie suffers bilateral subdural hematomas, retinal hemorrhaging, bruises across her skull, and brain damage from oxygen deprivation. The weight of it all lingers in the room. Somewhere between fear and guilt, her silence begins to sound like complicity. But that silence soon becomes a weapon that the detectives use to extract a confession.
Okay, I spoke with my supervisor. I guess the medical report came in with the Soph, okay? And they are 100% something happened that morning, okay? And the fact that you said that you shook her twice in October, I mean, what happened that morning? You had to shake her that morning, even if it was like this. I mean,
I didn't do that morning. I didn't shake her at all.
okay, but you've shaken her more than twice.
That was just...
There's no doubt in my mind that you shook her more than twice, okay? There's no doubt in my mind that you shook her more than twice. The medical opinion's in. It was a few times, and they're saying it was that morning, okay? Or that week at least, all right? So what happened? I mean, I'm telling you, you need to be honest here, okay? When was the next time you shook her? We have twice now?
That was the only 2 times, unless Cody did something whenever he took her back to lay her down.
Is that something you guys, I mean, did you ever see him shake? You never saw him shake her, did you?
No, unless he would do it whenever I wasn't watching.
Okay, but you never saw him. I mean, you saw him be a little rough with her, but you never saw him. But like I said, you shook her, you shook her twice before. If you shook her that morning, it doesn't make a difference, We need to know though,
Yeah, but I didn't shake her that morning. I didn't do anything to her that morning. I know whenever Cody flung her over his back, it seemed pretty rough.
Pretty rough. Okay. So, in the morning when you were changing her, she wasn't crying or anything, and you gave her a quick. I mean, we've been through this, and we know that you are not the same person that you are right now. That you were living in that house. You were a different person, right? Am I right in that? That wasn't you who shook that baby. Am I right? That's not normally you. Am I right in that? So if it happened, we need to know each and every time it happened, okay?
It was just them 2 times. If I shook her more than once, I'd tell you because I told you them 2 times.
I know, but I had to pull it out of you, and I want you to be honest with me, 100%, okay? That's the only way that we can be. We can only be 100% honest. We can't be 95. We can't be 99, okay? I mean, for Soph, we need to be 100% honest. It's not fair to her. She was put in this position. Nobody wants her.
She didn't even need to be there.
But honestly, nobody wants her.
Like, she didn't even need to be born.
That's right.
She didn't even ask for it.
That's right. And look at her now. Cody doesn't want her, right?
Yeah, he'd always tell me.
And he brought you in to take care of her. And there you, like I said, you're 18 years old. I don't know what I would do in your position. I'm telling you. What happened? There had to be more than what you're telling me.
That was only 2 times, and she was always so good. She was good that morning.
But she was frustrating to you.
A couple times she was, but
yeah,
not that morning.
And it's not like you punched her in the face. It's not like you took a knife and slit her. It's not like you tied her up and put her in a cage like some people do. You shook her. Yeah, some people do that. Yeah, believe me, I've been on cases like that, okay? You shook her, okay?
I didn't touch her that morning.
No. I'm talking about, that's what you did when you were frustrated.
This is the moment where good and bad begin to look alike. Detectives push Medzie harder. their words sharper each time, comparing taking a baby to knives, cages, and unimaginable cruelty. They insist she is still hiding something, that there must be more she is not saying. Yet she holds to her story, saying it only happened twice. What really happened that morning remains uncertain, but as the questions grow darker, so does the line between justice and pressure. Now the interrogation turns truly agonizing, descending into pure torment. What Medzie is about to hear will shatter her in ways she never imagined.
Okay. I just got some bad news here, okay? Sophie is dead. Okay? She is dead, honey. My corporal just told me. Yeah. She's dead. Yeah.
I can't even cry. I'm having freaking tears.
She's dead.
Oh man. Freaking sucks. I can't even cry.
Okay. Can I get you anything, hon?
I'm praying to God that she would get better. I kept praying to my friends that died. One drowned and the other died from cancer.
She's in heaven now, so she's better off. Okay.
Tell them, watch her.
Yeah. Well, now they can watch her up in heaven. Okay. She's gone. Yep, she's dead.
Is there any way I can have a hug or? Am I not allowed?
Oh.
She was like my home. I didn't know if I was allowed, but
Want to do the tissues? Or want me to get you some tissues or something?
I'll just use my arm sleeve.
Okay.
I kept trying to read that because I was in Spanish and I
Okay.
can't even read it.
Now listen to me, okay? Do you see how important this case is now? Okay, now, we've got a baby that's dead. Sophie's dead, okay? So, I need to know what happened that morning. Okay, honey?
Everything was just normal.
You did not shake her that
No.
morning? How about you threw her down a little bit hard?
She would always lay down on her own.
Okay, but did you do anything that morning? Was she
No.
crying that morning?
No,
She never cried. Did she say anything to you that morning?
no.
Okay, because we need to find out now, okay? We're gonna do that bone scan on her, and we're gonna find out if there's any of your prints on her, okay? Are there gonna be any of your prints on her?
There
Okay.
shouldn't be. No.
I mean, what would be the reasoning for it? You say no, you say you didn't shake her head, you didn't shake her arms, you didn't go like this to her. So if there's any reason why any of that stuff would be on her. Okay, now, that week, did anything happen that week?
No, other than whenever Cody did that.
Okay, but did you shake her at all that week?
No.
Okay, the 2 times you shook her, you told me.
In October. That was it.
Are you sure about that? Because like I said, we're gonna hook you up here in a day or so, okay? And you agreed to that still, right?
When detectives finally tell Medzie that Sophie is dead, the room sinks into a heavy, suffocating silence. What flickers across her face is impossible to read. Grief, guilt, denial, perhaps all at once. She collapses into tears, nearly falling to the floor, hugging the detective in desperation. But as they continue to press her for answers, the warmth in the room fades. From this moment on, nothing will end well for her. With Sophia gone and suspicion mounting, Medzie walks out knowing she'll soon face the detectives again. A new investigator waits, and the truth still hangs in the balance. But to uncover it, the detectives are about to get their hands dirty, and they might just cross the line.
What are you most afraid of, Jen? What are you afraid of?
No, God, I don't even know.
Oh, sure, you have to know. Tell us what you're afraid of. You have to. You have to be. I'm sure you're afraid. What are you afraid of most in this whole thing?
Well, I never had any of this happen, so that's kind of scary.
Oh, I understand that. That's what I'm saying. But what's the? How about for this? What are you most afraid of?
Well, I don't want anybody going to jail or anything.
Okay. You don't want anybody going to jail. Okay.
Do you think you should go to jail for this?
But I didn't do nothing.
Okay, what if you shot your baby that's what caused her death? Do you think you should go to jail then?
No, I don't even know.
Or do you think that you need some maybe parental skills, some type of counseling, some type of assistance on how to raise a baby at your situation? Do you think you need something like that? How to handle a baby? Need some education on that stuff?
I should have done that first.
Yeah.
But is that whoever did this? You think that would be maybe the appropriate? I don't want to call it something appropriate that they would have to do is, maybe to go to counseling and get some help for maybe what happened. You think that would be appropriate? I don't know if I would call it punishment, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do you think that would be appropriate that they would have to get some type of help?
Yeah.
And you said you really cared about Soph, right? If I'm not mistaken, the other day you said you loved her like your own. So I would think, and at least I personally would, if I was in a situation and, I lost my temper and, just frustrated, whatnot, I would think that the right thing to do now is to be honest for Soph's sake. I think at least owe her that, to be honest about what happened. Do you agree?
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's important that you tell us everything that happened. Do it for her. Make things right.
The new detectives change course, zeroing in on Medzie's vulnerabilities. What begins as gentle questioning quickly turns into emotional warfare. They frame honesty as a debt owed to Sophia, suggesting her actions came from confusion, not cruelty. Every word is chosen to disarm her, to make her confess for Sophia's sake. But this is just the beginning. Their methods are about to grow even more manipulative.
So how, you have to help us understand what happened, okay? Or why it happened. Because that's what's going to be important, is why it happened. You didn't intentionally set out to do it, but something happened that frustrated you, or you were upset with something. I think you were still mad at Cody from the night before, to be honest with you, because of the stuff you said the other day about him doing the drugs and whatnot with his friends and that, correct? You were upset with him still, and I don't blame you, because not only there's another thing to add to his grief thing that he did to you. You know what I mean? Now he brought you in, now he's got you doing drugs in front of you and everything else, and you're not a druggie. So that's another thing that he did to upset you. So he really made you mad that night, Thursday night, and you're still upset. You told me you guys went to bed, but you didn't talk when you went to bed. All right, so he gave you numerous reasons to want to leave there, obviously, right? I mean, it wasn't a happy situation there, really. Were you ever happy with him?
I wasn't at first.
Okay. But it didn't take long for that to wear off, did it?
No, whenever he said I wasn't going to see my dad in the hospital,
No, and what kind of guy does that? He's 21 years old. Who is he to tell you you can't go see your father in the hospital? You know what I'm saying? Really? That's holding you as a hostage. I mean, that's just crazy. What guy thinks he has a right to do that? That should have been, that's not right. He shouldn't have done that to you.
He says he's the boss.
Well, see,
So.
then so he's a control. He's one of those control freaks, huh? That he's the man and this is how it's going to be, and he's here and you're here and you do whatever he says.
I'm willing down there.
Well,
You're scared of them, right, Jen? And whenever you're scared of somebody, you can't, when he does stuff to you, you can't do anything back to him himself, because you're afraid of him. You're afraid what he's going to do to you. But there's some type of syndrome that when you're afraid of, and somebody's being, like, maybe he's verbally abusive to you in some way, you actually take that anger that you have towards him and you put it on somebody else. And I think that's what you were doing with Sophia. I do believe that. When you shook her, I think that was meant for Cody, but you can't, because you're afraid of what he'll do to you. So what you do is you transfer that anger to somebody else. And I think that's what you were doing with Soph. I do believe that. That's why I said, it's not your fault. It's Cody's fault. All this is Cody's fault. When he brought you in there, he set you up for this. And you knew he didn't even care about the baby. He wanted to shove it back up in the right? Isn't that what you told me?
Yeah,
He doesn't give two shits about that kid. What's that say to you? You see how he's not real nice to her. So you're seeing that too. But although you're taking care of her, right? I mean, and I'm telling you, there's a syndrome out there that you take your anger and you transfer on somebody else. Just like I said, sometimes it's a dog, sometimes it's a kid. There's really no difference. And I believe that's what you were doing. When you shook Soph, that's what you did. And if that morning, you have every right to still be angry at him. If my boyfriend was doing drugs the night before, plus he smokes in the house I told you we both have allergies and stuff. I know how horrible that is, and cologne and all that crap. But the fact is, he has no respect for you. And there's that frustration and there's that anger, but God forbid you say something to him, because what's he tell you? He's either going to hurt you or he's going to throw you out in your ass. But you love him. So you're stuck in a hard spot right here. You know what I mean? And I just think that you reacted that morning. You let something out that shouldn't have went out, but it did. Okay? And you need to write that chapter in this book, okay? Or we're going to write it for you.
The detectives double down, amplifying the story they begin to craft. They hint at the medical findings, the bruises, the unanswered questions surrounding Sophia's final hours, all subtly pointing back to Medzie. They don't accuse outright. Instead, they imply, weaving guilt and confusion into every word. Their tone softens. Their control tightens. And in just a few minutes, they'll cross every line with this 18-year-old young woman.
But the other thing is, if you believe in God, that you have to do the right thing, okay? And I'm going to tell you a little story if I can. I hope I don't bore you too much. But I know this priest, and I asked him one time, because we deal with things here at work, like kids who are molested, okay, and different things, at work, and people who, do things or whatnot. And I asked him, I said, I'm just curious, and this was Catholic priest, so they have confession. You familiar with that? I don't know if you have friends who are Catholic or whatnot. So they go to confession. That's what that religion believes, that you come in here and you tell the priest what happens and he absolves you from your sins. Okay, you go whatever, once a month, every couple months. But a lot of other religions, they believe that you can just do it yourself or however that works. But if you're Catholic, you go there, you tell the priest, and he absolves you and says, I forgive you for your sins. So anyway, my conversation with this priest was like, okay, so if someone comes in there and everything you say in that confessional is like confidential, okay, it's like going to a counselor or whatever, a therapist, everything's confidential, okay, and they can't. So if you go in there and say I did this wrong or whatnot, they can't tell the authorities, okay, because you're protected there. So that's like your safe haven. You can go there and tell them anything that you've ever done, and they're not to tell anyone, okay. So I said to him, isn't that tough? Because what if someone comes in and says that they did this or that? How can you not want to tell somebody if you know they did something wrong?
Child.
Yeah.
To me, that's up here.
Right. That's like probably the worst crime ever, right? We'll agree.
Child.
Or like murdering or something.
Right.
Yeah.
That's bad. So,
yeah, intentional.
Right, intentionally. So how can you tell not tell anybody? He said, well, he can't because that's just the way it works. But he tells these people that, okay, but I'm not going to absolve you from your sins, which I didn't realize they couldn't do. Okay, so he said, I tell them I can't absolve you from your sins until you do the right thing. So if you go to the authorities, he tells them, and you do the right thing, you go and admit that you did this or that and you get the help you need, then you come back, then I can absolve you from your sins. But until then, I'm not going to absolve you. So, does that make any sense?
Yeah.
You see where I'm going with it? It's kind of, like I said, it's kind of a dumb story. But you said you believed in God, so I guess I'm just trying to say, and this all goes with what we were talking about, being honest with yourself and being honest with God if you believe in God. And if you're honest with everybody, then you can be absolved, so to speak. You can be absolved from what happened, and you can move on. But you have to have that. You have to ask for forgiveness, I guess. And you'll be forgiven, but you have to admit also that you did something wrong in order for you to get that forgiveness. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And I kind of see that here because I think you want to do the right thing, and I know you're scared. I don't blame you for being scared, all right? But you need to do the right thing for yourself, for Soph, for everything, okay? And the right thing in this case, but what I mean by the right thing here is you need to be completely honest with yourself, okay?
In an outrageous turn, the detectives cloaked their pressure in piety, telling Medzie a priest tale about absolution, equating her silence with sin. After guilt-tripping her earlier and crafting their own narrative, they now wield God and forgiveness as a tool. It's a manipulative move, blurring justice and morality, leaving one questioning. Are they seeking truth or simply cornering her into wearing the guilt they've already assigned?
I believe what you told us is true in the past and all that, but there's also things you haven't told us. That's where I have the problem with what you haven't told us. Not that you're being dishonest about what you've told us so much as the fact that you won't tell us a few things that I think happened. So that's what I want you to think about. And, we ask you to come back up and you think about that, and maybe we can get all this out, the things that maybe you're holding back, so we can get this taken care of once and for all.
And like I said about those videos, I mean, Jen, I hope you're not lying about any of that those nanny cams, those surveillance cameras that were placed in the trailer. Because if you did anything else to Soph besides those 2 shakes, or you did anything that morning, it's all going to be on video. You understand that, right? So before we view that and say, okay, she lied to us, we want to give you the opportunity to tell us, okay, is there going to be anything on there besides those 2 times?
Do you understand what these nanny cams are? What they were, huh?
No.
Okay, they're like little cameras, like video surveillance, like in a store or something. They call them nanny cams. What happens, why they got named that, is my understanding, is people would buy them, like, people probably had money because they had nannies, okay, to take care of their kids. You've heard of that, right? Rich people have, they work and the parents go wherever and do whatever, and they hire these nannies, live-in people to come in and take care of the kids and basically raise their kids while they're out working or doing whatever they're doing, okay? So they pay usually it's rich people because nobody else could afford it. So they bring these nannies in, and the idea behind it is that if they were concerned with how these nannies were caring for their children, making sure their kids were taken properly care of, so, they install these little cameras in their house so that when they were away or working or whatever, then they could come home and view these and make sure that no one was doing anything to harm their kids. All right. So that's my understanding how they got the name, the nanny cam or whatever. It's basically people used it to protect their kids who were being cared for by other people. Okay. So that's what it is. So it's basically like a video surveillance in the store, or,
But in a house.
But in the house, right. It'd be like at Walmart or whatever, but it's in the house, and it records what goes on through the day. So you understand that, so it's recording all day, and obviously they're placed so no one knows they're there, okay? So it's not something that you saw or like, So they were positioned so they would be visible to the person, okay? But they would still record. So then when you can take these and then they download them to the computer or whatnot, the images on there of what was going on. Okay, so that's what your run's telling you. If there's something that's, it'll be on there. Okay, so then, you don't want to have to be explaining later. Now would be your time to explain, as opposed to later when you look at this and see this happen, and you're saying it never happened, and then your answer, and then you have to explain, well, look here, we got right here in black and white, we'll show you on the computer, you're doing this. You said you never did this to Sophia. You understand that? So
Yeah.
it's right there. So that's what that is. So
So is there going to be anything on Thursday that you didn't tell us about, or Friday, I'm sorry, that you didn't tell us about?
are you sure? How sure are you?
I'm really sure.
Really sure?
Is there going to be any other times that you shook her? Are you sure about that? So when we look at those cameras, we're not going to find any surprises with what you already told us. Are you sure, hon?
Oh, yeah.
Sure, Jen? Okay. All right, so we're gonna get those cameras back. We're gonna get the autopsy.
As the conversation winds down, the detectives bring up one final detail: the hidden nanny cams. They calmly explained how every moment in that trailer had been recorded, unseen but undeniable. They gave her one last chance to tell the full truth before the evidence spoke for itself. She insists she said everything, but her quiet hesitation suggested otherwise. Soon, the footage would reveal what really happened when no one was supposed to be watching. This marks the end for Medzie in this game of lies and manipulation. The trial began in August of 2017, nearly 4 years after Sophia's death. Over 3 tense days, the courtroom heard chilling testimony that her injuries were immediate and violent, not accidental. Jennifer Medzie, now 22, took the stand and introduced a new claim: that Sophia had fainted and hit a coffee table, a detail never mentioned before. On August 24th, the jury swiftly found her guilty of third-degree murder, aggravated assault, and child endangerment, sentencing her to 20 to 40 years in prison.